Yo, what is up, guys? Justin here, back with another video. Um, yeah, here back on the Wizard. Want to spend some time today, or in this video rather, um, going through the combat skills and learning how to play the class, something that feels good and comfortable, at least to me. In the last video, we finished off everything with the season and got our guy pretty much ready to graduate. I haven't quite yet hit the button. Want to spend a little bit more time, see if we can take any opportunity still in the season servers to learn the character, grind some, and just feel a little bit more comfortable before we spend the money to tag this guy. Let's see here, we've got a little bit of an outfit change, something a little more stylish today. But we're out here at Trees, one of my favorite go-to spots, kind of around this season, graduation, full pin Tuvala gear set and stats. Pretty low risk, pretty easy to do some damage here as a solo, and it's good because it's a place where you can get through the entire rotation of what it might feel at some of the in-game spots, because the monsters have a little bit more HP because it's a party group type of spot. So yeah, gonna spend some time. I've got this, I haven't set up my skills or anything, or my UI hotkeys, sorry, not hotkeys, cooldown icons. I usually like to put those in an order that help me learn the order in which I should do the skills for the rotation. Just a way to kind of get me muscle memory used to watching this thing as I develop just kind of my hands learning the natural flow for the grind for this class. Have been playing with it a little bit before this, just to find something that's not a complete mix-up. I like to have some consistency in the keys, regardless of the class I'm playing, even if it's not the most efficient option to play the class, right? Like something that's easy and enjoyable. It's not, gonna hurt my hands to play for a couple hours, few hours at a time, while we're doing some grinding. So gonna spend some time here doing that. You'll get to see just a little bit of kind of me spending some time here. If I can find a party, I'll jump in and do some with those folks, but I'm not gonna be burning any scrolls. Not really gonna be keeping track of loot or trash or anything like that. This is not really one of the best money makers anymore, so I'm really just here to maybe spend an hour and try to get comfortable. I'll be stopping a lot, maybe switching the order. I'm doing some skills, changing the UI just to get things in kind of a good working order before maybe we go try something a bit more challenging. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll check back in with you guys just as I learn certain things or realize certain things, or as I make changes throughout the video. Thanks so much for watching. future me back here. It's a little bit later in the day today. What you just saw was me doing some grinding at trees. Some of that was solo, some of that with a guy that I happened to find on whatever server I was on. The season server, since they made the recent changes, feel dead to me. Can't seem to find anybody doing anything on them anymore, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Anyway, I've got a rotation here that I am liking, that feels good and feels easy. And so I just want to talk to you about kind of how I've broken down my UI here. If I get into the editor, you can see that I've just organized some of the cooldown slots into a particular way, and I'll talk about why I've got them the way that I've got them here currently. The first section here at the top are 2 of the self buffs that I have. I haven't added a section to like track my heals. I probably need to put something over here so I can look at where my heals are. The ones that I have available for like group healing and group buffing. I obviously just don't need those right now since I'm not doing anything PvP or big group content related right now. But I've got the first 2 self buffs here, and then 2 skills that I cast at the beginning of each pack. First is the lighthouse. It's just a little orb that goes on the ground that monsters lock onto and attack it instead of myself. And then there's like a lava pool here that goes in the ground for a damage over time effect. I'll typically put the lighthouse down and then cast this right on top of it. So as they're grouping together onto that, they're taking damage the whole time. Then I've got a couple of skills here that are like the first part of my rotation that add some buffs, cast speed up without the skill add-ons, right? Casting speed up, damage up, DP up, and one other that I can't remember. Actually, let's just look and see what they are real quick. Yeah, so you can see here we've got magic AP, crit rate, casting speed, and DP. And then the rest of my rotation is here. I've got these 3 sub skills on this one because this is one where I cast the skill initially and then just hold right mouse button and it sets off these other 3 chains in a flow, right? So I just cast that one. If I go here, I cast that one and I just hold the right mouse button and it does all of those before I have to go into, the next set of skills. So pretty nice just have those there to remind myself that I don't actually need to do something different. And then a couple of other skills here that pretty decent damage once I've got all the buffs up and some of the things that come off of these skill add-ons. So pretty easy. I then just go back to kind of these 2 circular AoE skills as filler until these are ready, and then I kick the rotation all the way back off again. And it seems to be pretty good. Obviously, I can't like tell you what these skills are in name because I just don't know them that well. But it seems to be working pretty good. This is the rotation I feel pretty comfortable with. The damage is pretty good. I can clear the trees by myself in most cases pretty quickly. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with this. I'm gonna head to town here for just a second. I don't know if I'm gonna re-tag right now or not. I'd love to see if there's like some other type of content I could do. I just need to look and see if there's some other kind of solo content that makes sense for kind of this damage bracket that I'm at. Maybe I'll go to Star's End for a minute and see what it feels like to play there when I know I'm going to be a little bit out of my AP bracket. And yeah, stick around. I'm going to hop to town real quick. Just dump some of this stuff off. My ADD doesn't like having like random junk in my inventory. So I'm going to get all this cleaned up and then we'll either head over and do something else, or the next clip that you see will be me tagging and trying some other stuff. All right, so you guys are getting voiceover me now for the rest of the video. Some of the audio that I recorded got interrupted and disrupted as part of what I was shooting, so nonetheless, here we are. Ended up making it back to town, selling all the stuff and getting the inventory cleaned out. Determined it was time to go ahead and graduate this character from the season. Just wanted to try out getting a little bit different gear put onto this wizard so that we could go to some new places. And so there's me clicking that and just waiting for the loading screen. You can see now, obviously, we've got some new gear. The inventory's cleaned out. We went ahead and put on an upgraded necklace and a belt and the Pengriffin helmet. That necklace and the belt being the Kaposha pieces to get us to that kind of 260 awaken mark, and a little bit over 300 DP. And decided we wanted to head out to Star's End, trying to find something close to the AP that we had. We're a little bit under the DP requirement, but I wasn't sure how the wizard was going to perform at this place, and so we headed out. Magic teleportation machine, here we are. Just showing the gear again, kind of what to expect. When I set up for this, wasn't planning on using any potions or elixirs or really tracking the loot that we get, right? This was just more of a test to see, now that I feel like I've got my chops understood after hanging out at trees for a little bit and going through the rotation that I showed you a little bit ago, how does this fare out with something, with a monster that's a little bit more difficult? So wanted to spend some time on that. Got everything good to go, and here we are. And so getting started, we're on this back rotation, and yeah, just gonna let this run out, let you take a look and see how things went here for just a couple of minutes, and then we'll come back. All right, so we wrapped up a couple of rounds here at Star's End. You can see a little bit of trash in the bank. Again, didn't do anything with buffs or perks of any kind. Really, the only buff we have there is from our pet being out, our class pet. But you can see things went pretty easily, especially considering if we look back, our AP was kind of right at the cap, so we don't even get that 261 bracket, and we're pretty well under the DP requirement, and it was still fairly easy to get around and no risk of death or anything like that. So overall, I'm feeling like, at this point, maybe the Wizards kind of OP, pretty easy to play. The rotation seems to, that I've picked seems to fit in most cases anywhere where mobs are grouping up and hanging out. But obviously now time to try to see what the next thing is. I spent a few minutes here just hopping around the map trying to figure out where might make sense next to go, and there's probably a couple of picks there. As you can see, I was looking at maybe Orcs or Bloody, heading over and taking a look, trying to look through the Elvia zones and understand what makes sense for the gear that I have. This felt pretty easy. Can I go up a few other brackets and just play around and see what happens? Ultimately, I ended up settling on just going right down to Gyphins, and the story is pretty much the same once we get down there. Spend a little bit of time with the gear that you've already seen. I forgot to re-show that in the next clip that you'll see, but we take the ride. We're at the same gear, same story, right? No real buffs, couple little things just to try to make this easier. We've got a temp buff, the elixirs popped, but nothing super crazy, not try hard. We don't have any scrolls or anything like that going. Again, spending a little bit of time here just testing some damage to see how this thing goes at this 260 AP, just over 300 DP mark, when the requirements for this area are well beyond that. And you can see we're able to do a decent chunk of damage, and this is before we even get the first kind of mob pack buff. So same thing, we'll let this run for a second. A couple of deaths show up here that you'll see, but nothing crazy. But yeah, we'll let this run out and you can take a look how this class does down here with not enough gear to be here, and just a pretty simple rotation. No way. All right, wrapping up after a few minutes at Gyfin Under. You can see just a little bit of loot from our spoils here. We had a couple of deaths, and again, just a light little buff rotation. You can see here the sheet, 260 AP, just over 300 DP. We did lose a corrupted crystal as a part of our couple of deaths here, but all good. At this point, I'm feeling like I have learned all of the things and have a good understanding of all the things that I feel like I need to at this stage to continue playing this class. And so at this point, I'm going to hop out of here, head back into town, and look to switch the tag from the Meigu over to this wizard. And so the next couple of clips that you'll see will be of me traveling out and doing just that. So we'll head into town. And voila, just like that, we've teleported over. Uncaptured on camera, I'd already untagged the Meigu, but wanted to just show a couple of upgrades that I've made since the last time I did have that character tagged. We've gone from C9 to C12 boot, just getting us that extra DP bracket with those boots. And I had also been saving up to get a pen belt. I know it's a Bassi. I would love for it to be the Valtara's belt to get that little bit of extra HP, but I didn't feel like it was making a difference to me so much right now on the PvE side that save up a couple more bill and we'll get that one bought. But yeah, getting ready to tag all of the gear here. We can see the cost associated, but whatever, we're gonna slam it and ready to get this wizard started with some real gear here. So clicking that over, nice little chime, and now we've got all of that gear set up on the wizard. Here it all is in the inventory. Time to go ahead and put it on and look at all these stats that we have now after getting everything equipped. Right, we can see this 309 AP, 395 DP, or 306 awakening rather, since we're playing this Wizard Awakened. Feels good. Looking forward to seeing what this is going to feel like in some of the new zones. If we think back to a couple videos ago talking about wanting to grind in some new areas, I probably will spend a little bit more time at this gear just working through Gyfins, because I understand that rotation and kind of how the mob packs work down there. It'll be a little bit safer, just to get my bearings about me at this stat, at this sheet AP and sheet DP. So definitely want to play around with that and just make sure that we're feeling good. Got to get all this season gear into the bank, put it on some alts, start to spread them around the world a little bit. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this thing pans out. We've got a lot of things left to do as far as this Wizard series is concerned. So yeah, just glad to have everybody along with the ride so far, and stay tuned for the next video. We'll see you soon with more stuff going on. Peace.